Okay, so the next one is going to go to productivity hacks. So the question is, how do you get everything done that you need to get done to help you progress your career and move forward, or progress your business and move forward, or even just stay in business, etc.? And the trick is to really kind of know what works, know what doesn't work, know what works for you, because it's going to be different for every different person, and then actually look at different options to kind of do that. I went to Brazil, God, when was it? It was about 10 years ago. And on the flight, I read a book from a guy called James Caan that used to be in Dragon's Den in the UK, which is our version of Shark Tank. And basically in his book, he said that he got to the point where he used to cut the grass in his garden every week. And his wife, you know, this is when he was a multi-millionaire, his wife basically said to him, but it's not an efficient use of your time. Your time is valued at £100 an hour or £200 an hour. For you to be cutting the grass for 2 hours when we could pay someone 20 quid to do that. And it was that interesting mindset that he also talks about how it's important to invest in yourself and your brand, and we talk about that in our course. But it was a really interesting concept because for me, it's quite embarrassing, but I've told a few people, I outsource various different things. So I'm just going to write this down. And I don't just mean in a business context. I wear shirts. What you see is what I wear every day. So I wear different shirts every single day. And I've got a stock of about 22 different shirts, mostly from TM Lewin, or I tried Charles Thurwart recently, but I'm not a big fan. Anyway, and I actually use a guy called Rob in Gateshead that comes, collects all my shirts, takes them away, irons them and brings them back. He also does my dry cleaning. But what that does, it saves me hours and hours every week through having to do it myself, and it's very reasonably priced, but for the price, the time I get back allows me to do more stuff that, you know, if I had to do all my own ironing, I wouldn't do. And we're not talking mega money here, we're talking like £1.20 a shirt or whatever, but the time it saves is brilliant. But it's something that I do to outsource to really kind of help me be more productive more of the time, and actually that really helps. One of the other ones which really helps, go to bed early. It's one of the classic things that when I was in my 20s, there was a point when I started my first business and I would stay up till midnight, 1 a.m, working away, working hard, be up again to then it was when I was doing my PhD and doing the business at the same time. And it was fine, but only because I was in my 20s and I could just about sustain it. And my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, encouraged me to come to bed at a reasonable time. So now, being honest, I'm in bed before 9 o'clock. But what it does do, it makes sure that I'm rested, I'm fresh, so that when I get up the next day, I'm rested and I'm fresh, and you can sustain it for a long time. Is that we all go through periods where we work really hard, but you can't sustain that level, you'll end up crashing. That, you know, because most of us, so I'm 37 now, so I'll probably work until I'm 67, which means I have 30 more years of this that actually I need to pace myself. But actually going to bed early keeps you mentally refreshed, it gives you the, you know, the energy and stuff. That's really important. And off the same token, right, when you go to bed early, you can also wake up early. And it's that kind of thing of just having more time in your day to then get up, sort your own stuff out before emails start from other people, etc. And it's a really good productivity hack, which actually makes you a lot more productive. Most people, when they stay up late, either watching Netflix or playing on the Xbox or whichever, it's not productive time. So what we're talking about with this is productivity hacks. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with downtime, and I, you know, do a lot of the same things, but just being conscious of it. But one of the big things that I also wanted to talk about is actually your calendar. So I'm going to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Boop, 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 boop. So most people, I'm going to switch pens again, actually I'll stick with orange. So most people, when they work and they might go to an office, although they might be in work for 8 hours, they're often not productive for 8 hours, so they turn up at 9, do their stuff. And most people, as a genuine estimate, I think they're productive for about 5 hours a day. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And what that means is that over the course of the week, if you're good at maths, they get 25 hours of productive time per week. But actually, through getting up early and doing my own things, I kind of start working a little bit earlier, but then I might tinker a bit in the evening. But I kind of worked it out, and I actually do about 8 hours productive time a day. And that's because, to be honest, I'm passionate about this and I really kind of throw myself into it. That I'm very efficient with my time. I try not to waste any time because, again, I get paid by the hour. And I worked it out that I work on average about 8 hours, or I achieve about 8 hours of productive time a day. And that's, yes, I do work slightly longer hours, but it's just really being efficient about the stuff that you do. One of the things that I also do to help save time, and it's that saving of time which actually makes me be more efficient. A year ago, I was in my back bedroom of the house, and every time I would do an interview or a live stream, I had to set up all the lights from scratch, get it all set up, and actually it took like hours at a time. So what was like on, streamed was a 1 hour interview. In practice, it was probably taking me 4 hours, which is an eighth of my week or a tenth of my week gone just through being not productive. So actually just having the studio now means I walk in, everything's already set up. I don't have to set things up. And that saves me probably half a day a week, which is half a day that I can then work on stuff or client work or whichever, or live stream that I didn't have a year ago. And it's just through being more efficient kind of with my time. But the other thing as well is to ask yourself, what is it you do on weekends? And I say this not because you want to work on weekends, but it's about how it's really understanding what your hobbies are. So you have people that do photography, that go cycling, that do whichever. For me, the creative side and actually doing this kind of is my hobby, which is, it's a bit sad, but it's true. So actually I kind of worked it out that I probably spend 2 hours productive every Saturday and every Sunday. Which from my maths, because I did work this out, over the course of the week equals 44 productive hours that I believe that I kind of do every week, which on average is 76% more than most people. And then related to this as well is that because I am passionate about this, but this will be true for a lot of entrepreneurs, holidays aren't really a thing. So if you work in a company and you're an employee, you probably work 48 weeks a year, which is 25 hours a week, but basically 1,200 productive hours, a year. And that's something that we used to use at a previous company as one of the norms when you're looking at estimating how can you pay for salaries and stuff. So basically, I'll do that. 25 times 48 weeks equals 1,200 productive hours a week. But as an entrepreneur, it's quite rare that you get, 4 weeks off a year because you've got people to keep happy and you're trying to build something that you're passionate about. And I worked it out that I probably take 2 weeks off a year. So instead of 48 weeks, I have 50 weeks. But then if you take the 44, that should be 48 times 50 equals 2,000. So actually, if you look at every year, on average, I have almost double the amount of productive hours versus people that go in and just do a day job. But because of that, you're able to accelerate your business quicker, put more time into your personal development, do things like the Roadmap MBA, but it's to learn those skills which will help you accelerate and achieve or overachieve against everyone else. But when you actually kind of do the maths, I get into the office on average maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock every day, and I'll probably be here till 6. But it's how you kind of use that time. And even on weekends, I don't work full days, but I just do bits. But this all really kind of does add up to really kind of help. But yeah, productivity hacks like outsourcing your ironing or, things like that, that if you ever have the option to, is really kind of valuable. And yeah, one of the other things as well is just when I was saying before about how reading lots of books and different things, is that when you understand how you learn, and we all kind of learn differently. Some people are very visual, some people like words, etc. But the more you kind of build your knowledge on a topic, that actually acts as a way that's your kind of base load. So the more you add around that, so for instance, I know a lot about marketing. So for instance, when I read Simon's book, which I'll plug on Monday, because I already knew a lot of the content, I flew through it in about 2 hours. but that was purely because you're kind of building on existing knowledge. So everything we're trying to do with your business or career, the more time you spend on it, you will actually accelerate away, which is really kind of important. It's not always going to be a big kind of hard slog. But then likewise with the live streams and the Q&As and the classroom sessions, if you do ever have any questions, happily please kind of send them in.